Today we're gonna be talking about the manga The Cross-Dressing Boy Wants to Take Off His Skirt. Pause right there. I have multiple reasons to make this video, and I swear these are vital to the core of this video. So sit your man titties down and listen to the Shoda King tell you peasants about his daily struggles. Okay, let's begin. First off, I feel like the world is constantly watching me. No, that's not a dig to China, as I live there and there are like thousands of cameras everywhere, but I think the internet knows everything about me. Not necessarily you guys, because you're dumb, but because I feel like everything I see is handpicked by the person that I am. You know what I mean? And you're probably gonna say, Kiwi, we know this shit already. Were you born yesterday? No, hear me out, cause it's getting a bit uncanny. See, I always get these memes about short guys and how their only option in life is to be a femboy, which is ironic since I'm short. But like, there are plenty of other short kings out there, so why are you telling me specifically to go towards that direction? Then I made that video last week and I told you guys that I'll dress up as a femboy once or if I hit 100,000 subscribers. Cool. Then YouTube starts recommending me a video called How to Become a Femboy in 10 Minutes. Okay, Neil, I get it. I'll make do with my promises. So I looked at my current sub count and started doing some preparation. I do a little bit of online shopping, I asked for some help from my trusted gal friends, even my fucking ex, and to take it a step further, I wanted to get this shit down to a T by even learning how to act like a femboy, following actual femboy accounts and how they go through their daily lives, dancing to K-pop, strolling around Omegle. Safe to say, I'm doing a bit of something Hollywood actors like to call method acting. And I've learned that you can either be a bratty femboy, as in a boy who looks feminine but is in denial over his female-oriented qualities, or I can be a dedicated femboy, as in a boy who dresses like a girl, acts like a girl, and full-on wants to live like a girl. And I shit you not, as I was contemplating over which type I should pursue, the fucking higher-ups sent me multiple videos on how to goon like a female. Listen, you fucking creeps, not only have you been bending me over figuratively, you're making it pretty obvious that you desire to also do it literally. Don't rush me, asshats. If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this shit the best that I can, so stop spamming reminders like I'm about to forget the deal. Be patient. I'm getting ready as we speak right now. Which is why I started reading this manga. This is a story about Kiwi in a far, far future. Welcome to the first page of the series where we see the story's unique heroine, Alberta. Alberta! Crash. OMG! I can't believe we get to be classmates again. Thomas, stop! I don't want to do this right now. People are watching. Why does that matter, silly? We can do whatever we want because it's our world and we live in it. I mean, technically, the world is owned by pedophilic corporate elites, but I get what you're trying to say. Oh, Alberta, always the party pooper, aren't you? Seriously though, Tama, if you keep doing this, everyone's gonna get the wrong idea. Come on, you really think our classmates are gonna watch us and think about some sort of Yuri fantasies in their head? Yo, dude, look at those hot babes over there. I bet they scissor. Now after the NPC gets excited over the scene unraveling in front of him, he starts approaching to join their conversation to maybe get lucky and achieve a threesome. But before he could reach within a 5-meter radius, Tama starts having a seizure and vibrates harder than my best friend's dildo. This is because Tama has a crazy fear of men, so whenever she does act out, it is up to Alberta to save the day, by giving her a little hug and bring her back into her safe space. Only problem is, whenever she gets close, Alberta flusters as hard as a teenage girl and becomes so flustered that Alberta would often end up pushing Tama away. Now you're probably thinking, flusters as hard as a teenage girl? The fuck are you talking about? Isn't she already a teenage girl? Yeah... no. The manga then shows Alberta walking away into a closed room where an undressing scene happens and reveals that Alberta was actually an Alberto. Dun dun dun! By the way, I know I don't need to censor this, but knowing YouTube, I just didn't want to take any chances. Now, to find out how this situation came to be in the first place, we have to first go back into a flashback, where the scenery takes us back to when Tama and Alberto were babies. And Tama, being the baby that she is, doesn't want to hang out with Alberto because boys are too scary for her. So Alberto does the manliest thing possible by becoming an Alberta so that Tama could feel comfortable in playing with him. It's sweet. and now I think I fully understand what Gikuk meant when he said it takes a real man to become best girl. However, 8 years have passed and Tama still thinks that Alberto is a girl. For some reason, she just can't pick up on the very obvious clues that the girly pop that she's been playing Barbies with is actually a boy who likes to play with Hot Wheels instead. Alberto thinks that it's a type of mental block that her brain puts in order to save herself from PTSD. Any psychologists in the comment section? Please confirm. Now that in itself is a problem, but another predicament arrives when we move back to the present and we get the reveal that Alberto/Alberta has a crush on our girl Tama. So he's in a bit of a bind. On one hand, he's tired of constantly being corrected by her to become an even more feminine figure, but wants to keep up these appearances as it gives him a chance to get even closer to her. But at what cost? So what should Albert do? Will he continue this facade just to make her happy, or will he start to prioritize his own happiness in order to pursue a relationship with her, which could, you never know, end up making them both happy? Well, find out by reading the end of the chapter 1, where it gets revealed that she has known the entire time. Yep, this entire time Tama knew that Alberto was cosplaying as Alberta. You knew? Wow, this girl sucks. Before I get into my distaste, let me share my experience. At first, I was kind of on board. The twist with Tama actually knowing recontextualizes the previous scenes and made them make more sense. We also thought that the situation was a one-sided crush for Albert, not realizing that his crush does not only like him back, but is actually way more obsessed with him. And when I say obsessed, I'm immediately thinking of Freaky Nikki. Except, she's kind of all the freak. I so want to breathe Alberta. Okay, she's kind of quirky. Then Alberto takes the initiative by holding her hand, which got her to gush over him and claim that this action turned on the feminine penis of her heart. Alright, well, to be fair, he did commence hand-holding before marriage, so I get you, girl. Yeah, I think we get it at this point. So the manga follows the formula as thus. Alberto becomes a girl, Tama nuzzles her face towards his, makes some outlandish comments, boom, you get the standard chapter. But unlike the type of manga with no progress, this manga is unexpectedly a bit more ambitious. First off, we get introduced to a Gyaru character. I braced myself for another love interest, but turns out that girl is actually a fan of Alberto because she finds his motivation of cross-dressing as a source of inspiration. And add that on, Tama went from wanting to kill her to becoming her best friend who found a common interest. Then we get introduced to a Gyaru character, who is extremely jealous of Alberto for getting close to Tama. He also knows the situation of his cross-dressing, but unlike the Gyaru, is angered because he feels like Alberto is deceiving Tama's innocence. Now, I braced myself for the overused cliche of annoying jealous side hoe, but turns out this dude might actually be my favorite character in the entire series. Because his friends suggest for him to cross-dress too, and by trying it out, he ends up getting hooked on it. But I'll get into that later, because for now, we gotta get back into focusing on Tama again. You see, Tama's infatuation with Alberto starts out pretty fun. Personally, every out-of-pocket scene from her is hilarious and can easily be used as a reaction picture. But it starts becoming a problem when you slowly realize that Alberto doesn't really like this shit. He is doing this fully believing that this is the only way to keep Tama feel comfortable, which starts out an internal struggle to himself because despite that, he wants to reveal his secret because he wants to take their relationship to the next level. Regardless, he still stayed proactive and took a leap of faith by confessing his feelings to her. It's a huge turning point. The dude did the bravest thing he's ever done in his life, period. And all this girl could do to respond is by making light of it. I can't tell you enough how fucked up this is. It'd be a different story with the Gyaruo. This guy took cross-dressing to impress Tama as she used to be his savior, but along the way, realizes that he liked the way it feels and finds it to be a passion. According to his friend, he was always someone strange, an apathetic person who has no interest in anything, making him to be somewhat of a husk. But after seeing his homie pull out expressions he's never seen before because he finally finds something to actually feel proud of, it's like seeing a resurgence of a person that managed to find himself, which led to his homie seeing this Gyaruo pull out this smile that is nothing short of beautiful. I mean, it's so beautiful that it changed the genre to a BL. Yo, can you imagine telling your friend to cross-dress and you end up finding the love of your life? He might have an IQ too high. But now to put it back on Tama's court, she knows dead on that Alberta is just a cosplay and isn't real. She is well aware that this girl is actually a boy in disguise. A boy who she just found out likes her romantically and she just brushed it off because she wants to keep putting him in this spot. The spot, by the way, that we know he doesn't like. He doesn't want to become a girl. We literally see this in the first chapter. Now, we later find out that Tama actually considered the confession properly. She wallowed in regret, did a bit of self-reflecting, and asked herself if this is the right thing to do. This is a step in the right direction. And after some back and forth with her inner angel and devil, she came to the conclusion that she wants to seriously respond to Alberto's feelings. This gave me some hope. I thought that I was gonna see some potential in this manga. But then, they came around to show Alberto doing something cute, and she relapsed into a fucking degenerate. Now, I know this is supposed to make us laugh, but I don't really find emotional manipulation to be funny. And no, it's not because I'm biased from having my own manipulator. This shit is genuinely evil, and I can tell from experience. I think it's inevitable for there to be a scene where everything is revealed between the both of them, and I really hope they don't take the same route of turning it into a comedy. Because honestly, if he finds out that she's known the entire time and has basically been forcing him to change his gender, which indirectly causes some body dysmorphia towards him, and he doesn't get even a little upset, then the author just doesn't give a fuck. Currently, I am not that big of a fan. It does give me some decent laughs every now and again, but at the moment, everything regarding these two gives me a headache. It gets to the point that her simping moments are no longer charming and instead makes me roll my eyes. The one saving grace, however, is I fucking love Ryusuke. This dude is so cool. The idea that he started out cross-dressing to approach Tama only to find out that he enjoys doing it just for the sake of it, added on with the context of him being a naturally apathetic person who has no emotions finally being expressive after finding something he is passionate about, it's almost like the author accidentally created a well-written character. Did you know that the Gyaru I mentioned a few minutes ago also has a crush on Ryusuke? I know it's kinda random, sorry I couldn't fit into the script, but really, you made a femboy this cool, and he has a bisexual harem of his own? God damn. It's kinda convinced me on this whole femboy thing. Either way, I don't have much hope for this main couple, but I am actually really super interested in the side dish, which involves a bisexual love triangle. This shit is awesome. Just a shame we get these focuses like once every 5 chapters. So, because of that, I'ma give the cross-dressing boy wants to take off his skirt a polarizing 6 out of 10. Time is running out. I only have less than 10 days until I move back to China to do my master's degree, so chances are there will be no more live streams by that point. So if you don't want to miss it, then go to my kewie channel and catch me on live. But of course, even without the streams, I will still be uploading edited videos on that channel, so yeah. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about that. Also, when I do move, chances are I will not be in this Discord server anymore, but hey, you guys seem to be having fun there regardless, so go ahead. Do be warned, it's fully fan-made, I have no say in it, not the owner, creator, or involved in the making at all, but it seems like there's been nothing wrong with that. Because compared to if I was to make it, it would probably be more of a disaster because, well, I never really used Discord. Like, ever. But I do use Instagram. I'm pretty active on that, so go and check that out. Also my Twitter, which I only occasionally use, but anyways, those two are the only options you can have if you want to talk to me, even though a lot of times I don't talk back because some of you guys are kind of weird. But yeah, chances are those two are available. Yeah, that's all I have to say. See you guys next time. Bye!